Yay.
Yay, welcome, Cosmic Fam. What's going on? Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Aloha.
Oh my God, Larry is so cute.
Yeah, I'm just making by Larry. Hold on, what's that? I'm just
Definitely stealing the show right here. Oh my God.
I love it. I'm cutie.
Yeah, we definitely need guinea pigs, so I'm glad you brought one, you know?
Nice. We got a little cat coming in now. Hello, kitten.
Spook heard me talking about another animal and was like, I'm cute too.
Nice.
I had a guinea pig in my meditation the other day. So that's really cool.
You're looking into the future.
He came to say hi.
Spirit animal.
I love that. Yay.
All right, Sarissa, what do you got for us?
What do I, well, let's see.
Whoa, she disappeared into the sun.
Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water,
Let's join her.
my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, oh. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, oh, oh. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, oh. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, oh, oh. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Yeah, 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 oh. Yeah, 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 oh, oh, oh. Yeah, 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 oh. Yeah, 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 hey, ah, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That was
thank
amazing.
you.
Awesome. That was
Like,
Yes,
awesome.
thank
wow.
you. Beautiful.
Woo-woo.
Bringing that air through right there. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so
I disappeared for a second.
as we get this thing flowing and started, I'm gonna pass it over to Charlie to kind of give us the breakdown of what's the story today and what kind of journey we're gonna go on for the next like 40 minutes together and what we're gonna understand and play with. But while we're there, just drop in the chat. Let's use this chat wisely too, and use it as a way for us to a side way for us to communicate. How you feeling right now? Like after that experience, how do you feel? Do you feel anything, whether it's with your breath or your air or the elements? What are you feeling after this song? Drop it in the chat. Like looks like D already wrote something in there, but share with us how you're feeling. But Charlie, can I hand over the mic to you over here and take it away with the show?
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm gonna share screen, right, instead of using your screen. So where is the...
Oh yeah.
How do you play indie? Where is it? I thought
or you can just scroll through
present
it
right here.
Present, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, welcome everybody. It's been a long time for all of us here as Cosmic Players, so we want to welcome you back. So we are called the Omega class, and what we believe here is that we're gonna all be coming in, but we're not just coming in as just students, we're also coming in as teachers, because this is really the first class, and we'd like everyone to experience being both the teacher and the student, right? So we're all going to be sharing together the things that we learn, but we're also going to be learning from each other and seeing, every different perspective and how we can kind of grow together.
Wait, what does Omega mean?
Yes. So what is I guess me, would you like to?
Mick or Tizzle? Anybody in the audience? Anybody know what Mega is?
It's a measure of resistance in electronics.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Is it Latin?
It's Latin, yes.
Yeah, it's the last letter in the alphabet, the Greek alphabet.
Whoa.
Ah!
So we're not you guys are not the alpha class. You guys are the Omega class. And so everybody that's a part of showed up today, you're actually a part of a very special class that you'll learn more as we grow and this continues, the story evolves, that actually all of you are really integral with what we're doing. So thank you for showing up. Really give yourself a hug, pat in the back. And also maybe you're a part of something that becomes legendary and you guys are part of the legend. So just letting you know, being an Omega is quite special. All right, go for it, Charles.
And so we'd love to really allow everybody to really share their experience on like developing really our abilities, our body, mind, and spirit, and how those are really coming into place. And so we have here this idea that, the elemental body allows us to kind of synthesize the 4 elements, emotional spirit, and that as well our soulful mind. So I'd love everyone to kind of share what they think each of these ideas represents. So Sarissa, would you like to share any of these 3? What do you feel like these represent? So Sarissa is also going to be one of our play shop teachers here. So I just wanted to introduce Sarissa here.
Yeah, I am mahalo. For me, when I see this, especially these 3 together, for me, it's like the Holy Trinity. Yeah, it's like those 3 things that come together that when we align, it creates the life that we have. We have the elemental body, the physical things that are around us that we can touch, that we can play with, that we can manipulate, if you will. And the emotional is the how we feel and how we're vibrating with those frequencies. And then the soulful mind is how we're interpreting it, how we put them all together and how our soul flows through it. So the body, the mind, and the spirit. Yeah. I don't know.
Anybody else would like to add? So the emotional spirit is also, to me, like where the heart connects everyone together, right? We talk about this cosmic web, and so how the heart is the spirit that connects everyone together when everyone says, my spirit, and so just kind of like this all unity kind of encompassing energy. And so I love kind of this, coming from the heart is kind of how we all connect.
So Charlie, wait, Lauren, I wanted to say something. Lauren, what
Yes.
were you about to say?
Oh, I was just going to add the elements. I see earth, then I see fire and water together in the center, and then I see air on the end.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to share what you feel from this or see or? Going once, soulful mind, going twice, emotional mind, going twice.
I want to add that just looking at these visually, it's showing how we're not just relegated to the density or like weight of the three-dimensional, right? This is allowing us to understand that our auric fields are a part of who we are, and the fact that like the eyes are closed on the soulful mind, it's really like charging us to think about how to go more within. Like it's not just about the external or the dense physical, it's about the spiritual and the auric field as well. So yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
I love that. It took me a second too when I was like reading them, going through that when he asked, and then I saw soulful mind. And then after I stopped speaking, like, oh, that's so interesting, right? Soulful and mind together. Because not everybody puts those two in the same category usually. But to realize that you're not your mind, you're not your thoughts, but to like elevate and transcend above that is such a, I think what we all kind of aspire to. Is to allow the mind not to be the place that we're thinking from, that emotional space, the heart, right? We talk about like the heart math. So yeah, I love that. Thank you for pointing that out. They're really beautiful photos.
Yeah, and I think it's just to show, how everybody also has a different way of explaining the different aspects of who we are, right? And through this journey where we're discovering, exploring all those, how do we really embody those in our everyday life rather than relegating them to some kind of ideas that no one really thinks about, right?
Yeah.
And so we're really excited to introduce you guys to the elemental guilds. And so we're really going to rethink and really bring back this elementary alchemy that we've grown up with probably in our ancestry, and now we've kind of lost touch. But we're really bringing this back into, we're part of these guilds. And so we have these resonant energies together where the fire signs together, through the astrology, we can connect to that. But just on the elementary level, right, that like our foundational characteristics are very similar, and together we can not feel alone, but yet feel like there's also differences and diversity that we can grow and learn from each other, right? So I would love for all of you all to, if you don't
Charlie, I'm Slytherin. I'm Slytherin.
So I would love for all of you all to experience this. This is also like the idea of the sorting hat too, right? And this is not like one guild and you never will join another guild. The idea is you will join guilds depending on what you want to focus your energies on, right? But this idea is that we just have a group of people that know that they are representing these elements, these character traits. So just like Harry Potter with the sorting hat, we have also, you guys remember Captain Planet, right? The idea of Captain Planet. So if you all just look at the different elements of Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. So if you're an Aries, Leo, and this is also
actually drop in the chat, like based on, don't put your zodiac, but put what element you are in the
guild. Yeah, you're at. And so each of these represents, if you guys didn't already know the elemental, so a lot of the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, get sometimes confused on different elements. Those actually represent the air element. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces represents the water element. And then you have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, which represents the earth. And so if you know also that you have a rising and the moon, you can choose kind of where you like to go. Those, this is not meant to be like an end all be all. It was meant for us to kind of allow us to kind of organize ourselves to be able to explore the depth of who we are.
Nice.
Those graphics, Charlie, the icons are really cool.
Thank you. I think you have to get ready for.
Yeah, so it looks like, okay, so we got some fires over here. Okay, we got 3 fires, Charlie, up in this.
Ooh,
It looks like
nice.
Looks like we're attracting the fires are showing up. We got the waters, nice.
Yeah.
And the air signs.
We got waters, okay.
Earth.
We got a couple of airs, okay, cool. Carl's up in the air, nice.
Woo-hoo.
Cool. And then Charlie, keep an eye out for the waiting room too, because some folks who are coming in later.
Oh, it's going straight in now.
Oh, it is? Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. And so also, keep in mind as we break out into our rooms, each one of those rooms is going to be guided by one of our cosmic avatar senseis, right? So as you guys can see, Charlie, Mick, Sarissa, Tizzle, they all are right now today representing certain elements that they are connected to, but we're all connected to all of them. So you'll have a guide in that room to kind of guide you into the next steps of what we're doing, the next playful exercise that we're doing. So did we get everybody?
Yeah, so I'd like to ask the new folks. I was thinking if a lot of us are already our own signs. I don't see any much earth. Anyone here who's an earth sign? Because we can actually just record us doing just maybe 2 signs. If there are more people who seem to be water and fire are the 2 guilds that seem to be represented with new folks.
Yeah, we can do that. We can all do it together then.
Yeah, I think let's do that together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Combine the
record it and
elements.
we'll all be a group. Yeah, right. Captain of the time.
All right. So I'm gonna share a maybe Charlie, you wanna whoa, look at that.
Yeah, so go ahead and share a link in the chat. And so this is kind of the team here so far, but we're looking to get more teachers who are interested to share their knowledge with everybody. It doesn't have to be the elements. I think the elements is our way of really helping us organize ourselves, because for me, I'm both a fire and earth sign, but here we represent the guild for earth, would be myself, Charlie. Anybody would like to introduce themselves? Tizzle with the fire guild.
Blessings, y'all. Yes, so much fire in my chart. So I just really driving, really a lot of action. Like as you can see on the page I have there, it's like so much information.
Yeah.
And I'm just really grateful because fire is what gets us going. Fire is what drives us. Fire is what motivates us. Fire is what gets us up every day, right? Like when Sarissa was singing the song earlier, what did she say fire was? Spirit. It's really that thing that connects us also with where we are in this earth realm. And it's really amazing because having like that fire lit within you, it really helps you to connect, forge forward the fact that we are doing this today. We're doing this thing that is incredibly innovative. It's something that is very important. It's something that is a call to the community and the collective, especially with all of the things that are going on. And the fact that we're using our spirit energy to collaborate and come together and to create. The co-creation is real. And so I'm really grateful and really excited for all of your faces and for everyone showing up. I wanted to ask as well, like, there are a lot of fire signs that I was seeing here based on the chat. So it looks like Ross is fire, Lauren is fire, and D is fire. I am curious, right? And if anyone else wants to chime in, but like as a fire sign, like what are some of your strengths as a fire sign?
Wait, hold on, Tizzle, sorry. Do you want to we're gonna go all 4 of us, introduce all 4 of us, but do you want to just go straight into the fire?
Okay, got
stuff?
you.
Yeah, I would just wanted to match the screen here with that, sorry.
Got you.
Because Indeed also added his link on the chat. So if anyone can go to the link too, and for all of us to think about what we think the idea of the fire element looks like. And so I will put it here, but go ahead. Keep going.
And if people want to say something on the microphone, I can also do it in action over here. So if you know how to use Canva, you can just access it and start putting things on in elements. Otherwise, you could put it in the chat, or you can say it out loud, and I'll throw it on there too in real time.
Ooh.
Hey.
Got the juices flowing.
So we are answering the question now?
Yes, please.
Okay, I think some of my strengths as fire are being a light and bringing people together, being that initial spark that brings people together, and being like the life of the party. I don't know how to say that in a different way. Yeah, let someone else share.
Yeah.
Dope.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. In the chat, we have creative, passionate, leadership, courage. Thanks, y'all. Dope.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for
I
putting the
always,
graphics in.
I'm not a fire sign, but I definitely surround myself with a lot of them. And I always feel it for them. They're like the inertia. They really pick things up and they go with it. So they bring that like that spark, that inertia to things that really, yeah,
Dig it.
all rolling.
Okay, and I know we have a couple of things, but now I want to flip it. I want to give the alternative, right? And I don't like to call things weaknesses, right? I've been teaching for 23 years and I don't think it's cool when you're like, that's weak. But I wanna ask, right, as fire signs, what are things that we as fire signs can improve upon, right? What are things that are kind of like our blind spots in regards to how we connect and how we see ourselves? And like Dee wrote here, like, what are our opportunities for growth, right? So we talked about strengths, so opportunities for growth. Like when you think about fire signs, what are some things? And whether or not you're a fire sign or if you just have thoughts, Sarissa, you hang out with a lot of fire signs, like what are areas of growth that you really resonate with for fire signs? Someone in the chat just put stubborn.
Patience.
Mm.
I was gonna say that, Sarissa.
But you were patient.
Really quick. Explosive reaction instead of being patient.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. Let's see what else was in the chat. Balance and sustainability for sure. I also want to say like taking on too much. It's like I can do everything. Yeah, slowing it down. Okay, cool beans. Thank y'all for participating in that. I appreciate you.
And as you guys, just to let you know, well, as we go through this process, I also want to highlight who's facilitating. I mean, a lot of you've heard that Tizzle is a teacher, but a lot of people don't know that Tizzle is an amazing artist. She actually teaches future art teachers. So she's at Cal State Long Beach teaching future professors and educators in the art space. So she also is coming from a place where the institution itself no longer serves these needs that we all are starting to have. And she's seeing this with their students. She's seeing a pattern where people are not really, the students themselves that are trying to be teachers are not really able to even practice being a teacher. Maybe Tizzle, can you quickly like just illuminate what you're facing within the system, within the matrix?
It's definitely, thank you for that too. Being in the college level, you would think it's like, oh, it's this innovative, creative space, and you have all these students who are getting to share their ideas and really illuminate and brighten. And it's like, no, they are being really forced to like show up to class wearing slacks. Make sure you give a lot of art history slides, and there's a lack of voice. There's lack of like any type of energy and innovation. It's a really trying and difficult situation for students because they are attending this program thinking like, oh, I really want to teach and connect and, you know, be socially, emotionally supportive. But then you have these like teachers, traditional teachers who are like, no, you don't need to listen to the students. You just tell them what to do. And a lot of these young students are like, but that's not what I want to do. And so what are they, Gen Xers? Is that what it is? The Gen Xers are not having it, so they're having a lot of struggle, and we're actually having a lot of fallout. A lot of students are dropping out because they don't feel seen, they don't feel heard, and it's unfortunate. So it's really important what we're doing, because we need to let these students know who feel like they can't be seen and can't be heard in the institution that, like, hey, we see you, we hear you, come over to the side and figure out a different way to connect and commune with students, with the collective that's not just institutionally based or colonized.
And it's
Mhm.
interesting you say that too for the fire element, right? Because this is exactly kind of a struggle that, specifically fire signs deal with, right? Is not being able to express themselves. And so this is the theme of whether it's in school or any kind of industry that we're in, the idea of the fire signs help to kind of shine our light when we're being kind of stuffed down.
Very true. Ultimate. Oh, this is so exciting.
So that being said, I would love a little bit more interaction with all of y'all. So we have this thing called fire play shops, right? It'd be interesting to explore what kind of play shops would you guys right here, especially those of you guys that are fire, that kind of lean towards the fire. What kind of things would you want to study or learn about? What would help and support you with becoming even more potent with your fire and maybe more balanced with your fire? Like what kind of exercise or play, we say play shops, but they're really the educational modules where we can have fun as well.
Mm.
Let me get ideas.
To do with creativity and destruction, where we could do an activity that maybe we start off by creating something and then we move to destroying it and then we move to creating with the pieces again.
I love it, Ross.
I like that. Yeah. Making
That's a good
destruction
idea.
fun. I like it.
This is why I love collage.
Rebirth.
Collage is a really powerful tool for that, because you have something that's created, you rip it up,
Right.
you have all these pieces, and you're like, I'm going to reconstruct it into something beautiful that I want to see. So I love it.
Nice.
I would love to add something. I think something that I personally have always struggled with is the follow through. It's like, I'm being super creative. I can start anything. I can get it going, and then I'm kind of like want to move on to the next thing. Like I'm ready. Like I'm kind of like I get bored with it. So it's like finding ways to still feel engaged in whatever it is that to follow through.
Right.
And not get so distracted with like, okay, like shiny object here, which are important, but maybe just, I guess like what Ross said, finding the balance and coming back to that.
I can find a guild for you for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I would even put here like some sort of practice of like being with a play shop where we're practicing being with the fire, like whether it's like staring at a flame or staring at a fire, and actually practicing being patient and calm and focused when you're staring and you're in presence with that energy of fire.
I say also learning how to make a fire. I mean, actually knowing what it requires to make a fire. It actually requires fuel. And I think a lot of people don't realize what fuel is to fire. Even breath is to fire, right?
Well, when you say fuel, do you mean actual literal fuel?
Both? Yes.
Okay, I was just curious.
And
No, I was just
physical.
curious. You don't need to have fuel to make a fire, yeah?
Yes.
You definitely need energy, friction, all those things. I love the idea of a fire meditation. It was a huge like ally for me that a teacher gave to me years ago, to just stare at a flame at eye level, and gaze into the flame. And I also, I mean, just the idea of, I guess I'm combining it with air, as I am air as well, but the air feeds the fire, right? The air is good for movement for most things. But it feeds the fire, it fans the fire. And along with the building fires and gazing at them, I think for me, temazcals, or like a sweat lodge, is a really great way to learn how to build an NEP, build a sweat lodge, a temescal, and which is like the womb of the earth. And then you learn you have to build the fire to heat up the stones, the earth, and then you are putting those rocks, the grandfathers and grandmothers, inside of the temescal, and you sit in the patience with the heat, with the fire, and you learn how to be still in the heat, and it burns things away, you know, on many levels, on whatever level that. So for me, I love that. It's one of my favorite meditations, is being able to sweat and to breathe through the heat.
Excellent. And so, you know, as we I wonder, Charlie, if we just switch over to water, but still at the same time, I want all of y'all to keep meditating, contemplating these kind of ideas, these guilds, and how we show up in them. And also, we didn't really even touch on the animal sides of it. We'll come back to that later, and Charlie will kind of illuminate in that space and what we're doing with Cosmic Labyrinth, and also connecting to nature and ecology with the elements as well. So we're not trying to do something that's escapist, but how do we now connect it to what's happening in the world and our relationship with the natural world as well? But let's go. Should we go to water, Charlie?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, Mick, you wanna facilitate?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, so water is life, right? It's in us all, and of course, fire. All these elements are life. It's water is a very magical element, right? And those of us who have it strongly in our charts realize that it can also have a lot of relationship to the emotions, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm an artist, so it's kind of like the water coming through, yeah, through the arts, and you know, expression flowing, making sure that things are moving. It's very important for water signs. You know, like you can get stagnant as a water sign if you don't make sure that you're physically in movement, but also your creativity and ideas are moving. And so yeah, share some ideas with me about some strengths that you have with transformation and water.
Carl says that water transforms into liquid, solid, and gas.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fourth phase of water too.
Yeah, in fact, I have the book right here, The Fourth Phase of Water by Gerhard H. Pollack. Highly recommend.
The fourth phase is so powerful, Mick. It's like becoming invisible in your hands. That's
yeah, well, yeah, that's right. You probably can't say it. Well, anyway, yeah, but it's pretty amazing, and this is like scientific research that's come out in the last decade about the fourth phase of water, and this is really where it kind of comes into the research on, like, Masaru Emoto's research as well, looking at water in a structured phase when it's between kind of like a liquid and solid almost, which is basically in all living beings. It finds this phase. It's like highly energized, and it's able to transmit. It basically almost acts more like fire in a way in that phase. So it's able to transmit electrical impulses very quickly on a kind of quantum speed, and it also records memory on a quantum level. So and so you can like create basically a water battery, but just like putting it out in the sun. Like putting a jar of water out in the sun. And then if you're drinking that water, then you're actually taking in this structured water, right? That has all of these kind of quantum potentials. So
what are some strengths, and like just like we did with the fire, like what are some strengths about the water element, but within all of us, like in terms of personality and character, for us? How does water show up as strengths?
It's cleansing.
Intuitive, perceptive of others' emotions.
Intuitive.
It's very healing and nourishing.
Healing and nourishing. Nice. Anything else?
Add the creativity that I mentioned before. Big strength.
Creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And then what did you say, Tizzle before instead of weaknesses? What's the better word?
Opportunities for growth. Opportunities for growth.
So what are the opportunities for growth for the water element, water folks? And I guess we all got a little bit of water in us, a little bit water in us.
Boundaries. Holding boundaries.
Yeah. Consolidation is something.
Consolidation.
Mhm. So Iris shared some things from the Tao Te Ching. Beautiful. Water is fluid, soft, and yielding, but water will wear a white rock, which is rigid and cannot yield. As a rule, whatever is fluid, soft, and yielding will overcome whatever is rigid and hard. Beautiful. Thank you.
I guess I would say that powerful. Water is powerful. So.
I was also going to add, like, I was trying to articulate the word, and just hearing and reading that, it's like being so impressionable, like spongy. It's like taking on energy that's not one's own. I don't know how to consolidate that look.
Water is formless, yeah. It takes on the form of anything.
Right.
And it seeps through any cracks. So water it's very adaptable.
Yeah.
Just like our emotions, which it represents, yeah. And our memories, which we also can skew over time. So
yeah. Yeah, that's just it. It's because it's able to transform so often, it has the ability to purify very, very easily. But you do, that is an area for growth with water, because you have to, as a water sign, you have to realize when you're taking on too many of other kind of vibrations and getting overladen with those memories, and when you need to have that kind of reset, that purification.
Beautiful. And Carl, thanks for also mentioning that water gives life to plants and all life needs water. I mean, that's that fourth phase, which is interesting, which we should definitely explore with water play shops. And so did you Mick, did you add these already? These are yours, right?
Yeah.
So in really quickly, as you added these, I would also like to add to everybody that Mick is not just an educator and an artist, but he's also at the forefront of like combining science and art. He has had art shows at UCLA and USC and the other various places. And he's, as a scientist and as an artist, he's really interested in how art and science are actually really interconnected. And you can't separate them. And maybe Mick, can you share like your experience with the institutional ways that like science and art are presented, and how Cosmic Labyrinth is kind of plugging that thing, filling that emptiness?
Yeah. I mean, basically, this is something that was it C.P. Snow wrote about 50 years ago, the division between art and science, and he called it the two cultures, and it's like described this idea that maybe the emergence of a third culture that could combine art and science. But still institutions continue to struggle with the ability to combine disciplines. In fact, more and more what we're seeing is a proliferation of more disciplines, more specializations, to the point where it's even harder for even like a biochemist to talk to a physicist anymore. Yeah, there's like this, it's hard for like a design media artist to talk to a fine artist, and so this is something that I saw at UCLA when I worked there. Is like within the same building, which is the arts, the people who want to be like in galleries don't want to talk to the people that want to like show at festivals, so so it's really with Cosmic Labyrinth, kind of going back to the elemental education, the understanding of self, and understanding that actually all of the elements and all of the disciplines have an origin point in spirit and heart. I think is really fundamental to transforming the way that education is done, and it's something that I see a lot of people at institutions kind of trying to do in different ways. So there are actually a lot of people within pretty much every institution I've been in that are trying to kind of change it from the inside as well. There's just a lot of like structures in place that make it hard, and people upholding those structures, so yeah.
That's why we're here.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, Carl, they create their own language. It's like a jargon. Yeah, I'll be presenting at the College Arts Association conference in a couple of weeks, and it's like I feel a little nervous because I have to like brush up on all the terminology so that it can be understood within an academic crowd and not be kind of judged. Even though if you could say that same thing on a level that could be understood by anybody, and it probably would be more effective. But like if you don't say it with the right language, then academics don't accept it. So yeah.
Thanks, Mick. And what are these? You said Tai Chi movement was one of the things here. Why is Tai Chi important?
Yeah, Tai Chi or Qigong, all of these are fluid movements. And if you've watched the Avatar, that's actually the martial art that's referenced in the waterbending.
The last Airbender Avatar.
Yes, the last Airbender.
Not the blue people Pandoran Avatar. That's for
Right,
another
right.
time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's the movement of water, referencing that.
Though, I mean,
The
speaking
body.
of Avatar, I'm sorry, they did just have the whole nother section of going into the water, so it's right aligned with what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
I also just want to add really quickly as a play shop is like speaking into your water or like writing messages on your water, and how like similar to how Mick was talking about like taking a container, a glass container, not plastic, and putting it out into the sun to make it structured. You can also structure water with words, whether you're writing or you're speaking, and I feel people really need to know that, because as soon as you consume that water, like you feel it, it's so sorry.
Yeah,
I
and
love that.
and Tizzle, they've studied this, and there's pictures of under a microscope of the structures of water after things have been spoken into them, and it's really, really interesting to see the positive messages and the to see how it looks.
Right. There's also like that goes hand in hand, like they can prove that now with scientific studies, but that goes into the science of water because when you speak, it's the frequency. So when you're using the frequency that you're, and that's in every indigenous culture, even with seeds, with medicine, things like that, you're programming something. And so we're learning that when water carries memory and when we're speaking into it, we're literally changing the structure of it.
It's holy water.
Right. It's cool.
So okay, so let's I feel like this is pretty awesome. We got Earth, we got so much stuff. But let's get back to the story. So Charlie, where are you at? Are you over here? There he is, right here. Wait, is Charlie, did he go into the ether? He's in the Akashic right here. There he is. Oh wait, he must be just in the ether now. Oh, look at this. Oh, so it looks like we got stuff going on right now in our current astrology.
yes. So now that you guys have learned a little bit about just the elements and how they're actually also represent physically in our world, understanding also how they represent in our timing, right? The idea of the 4 seasons represent the sun cycle traveling through different parts of astrology, causing these weather phenomenon called the 4 seasons. And so all the elements do the same thing, but then the 4 elements also are represented. So right now, if you look here on this chart, here we have here Taurus energy, and we have here Capricorn. So you can see this already Earth energy. If you were to just imagine if you're an Earth sign or you're part of the Earth Guild and you see a lot of Earth going on in the planets, you could then imagine that energy is being supported. Versus if you're very airy, you need more air to feel more very freedom. When there's a lot of Earth energy, that's when your life feel very like heavy and you're not able to go and do whatever you want. But maybe it's a time for you to maybe create structure, and that structure allows you to eventually have freedom. But that's kind of where understanding the cycles of the elements in our own transits is why this is super important, because we can talk about today's transits, right? Like, let's actually, this is where a conversation of, this is fine and all, Charlie, but what does that mean? Well, let's talk about how these transits are actually happening in our everyday life. So we'll get into the next piece here. So
there is a darkness spreading all over the world, engulfing humanity and nature. This darkness, we do not know when or how it began or what it is, but we do know that it steals and hides the elemental wisdom from all of us. Maybe you felt it when you're at school or university, or maybe in a grocery store or mall, or maybe at a church or in a laboratory, or maybe you are triggered by the news or the government. The darkness revels in our confusion and fear. Choose your destiny to become a cosmic alchemist of the elements and bring light to the darkness so that we may restore the elemental spirits within us and all around us. Before we begin our cosmic quest, we must learn about ourselves and our connection to the elemental spirits through elemental guides and apprenticeships. We'll do this with the help of our spirit animals and the elemental senseis who guide us towards our own elemental self-mastery. We are the sons and daughters of the elements, and it's our duty to bravely face the 4 shadow riders that have brought darkness into our world.
Dun, dun, dun. And
So riveting.
And so we'd love for you all to help us solve these riddles of the shadow pillars. And so there's been these 4 shadow pillars that have shown up in our world, and they seem to affect these elements. And so they really keep us from remembering that we are elemental beings, that we forgot what our weaknesses and strength and who we are and what we can do. And so it's important for us to kind of think about what is some of the shadows that we experience in our personal lives. So I'd love for us to kind of think about and share some personal things, personal shadows. So let's say as an earth element, what are some weaknesses that I may experience in my own life? So earth signs tend to be very logical, very to the point, practical, but yet maybe I'm a little dry and not very exciting.
I'll share mine. Like,
okay, yeah.
I'm an earth sign, but one of my biggest struggles is being rooted, like actually having my own my physical rootedness, with the place that I can call home and my own. And that rootedness affects my mental ability and my ability to focus because I'm not physically rooted as an earth sign.
Yeah, that's definitely what I was going to say as an earth sign, was staying grounded. And I was going to say that about the water signs too. Sometimes it's really good for water signs to be friends with the earth sign or to be around one, because a earth sign can really ground, or not a water, I'm sorry, a fire. For fire signs to be around earth, because we can ground you guys.
Nice, Alyssa.
Alyssa, you were right with the water too. It's crucial. Something that I really appreciate about Charlie is him being a earth sign and me being a water sign. And you think about the glyph of Virgo, how the fish is leaning against the M. It's like you're providing me with stability, so it's incredibly important for water too. Really good observation.
Any other shadows? Carl says, in darkenment has a spiritual dimension. The stars come out of the night. Seeds grow beneath the soil. Babies are in womb. Nice. I love that.
I mean, yeah, totally. I think the darkness shows us how light we can be. That's where we do the growth to, personal shadows. I mean, as an air sign, I definitely relate to needing to be rooted. But I have a decent amount of earth, so it definitely keeps me going. But I think for me, it's being able to consolidate, because with all of the ideas, then you connect the dots. So being able to physically manifest it, so to be able to sit down and have the inertia, that will to take all of the ideas that you have, and then actually do something with them.
Another shadow I was thinking of is reminding me of Earth's life cycles and how we plant seeds and grow things, but then also after we've reaped our harvest, letting things go through the unfortunate part of the life cycle, the ending there, but then to also continue building. And for me, mountains are huge, visual point, and just seeing layers, the layers in the mountain, or thinking of goats and being a Capricorn that climbs. I say the shadow would be like that building factor where, yeah, sometimes it gets hard. There's certain parts of that are hard.
Awesome, Alyssa. I love that perspective. I also love seeing all those goats and cows on the side of like mountains. It's like, what the heck? How are you standing there? All right. So we can, this is awesome. And this is actually one of the things, you know, that Cosmic Labyrinth is going to be facilitating in the, you know, in the months to come, is more of these ways for us to dive into our personal shadows, but not just alone anymore, that we could do it in community together, whether you're doing it with your Earth Guild and with other people who are also in the Earth Guild, or you're doing it with other people in the Water Guild. And so you're not alone anymore. You have a community, you have a guild, but also we'll also learn how to collaborate with other guilds, right? And people who are good in other, like Charlie and Tizzle were explaining. I think that's where we can do something really special right now with what's happening in the world as well. And so we go lean into our shadows to actually deal with something even greater than that. Charlie, take it away.
Yeah, so in this phase one is really all about focusing on this inner child, right? Like imagining this game, this world is just a game. And so allowing our inner child to feel not vulnerable, not to feel like they've, you know, I think a lot of us grew up with a lot of no's, but what if we grew up in a world where we get yeses, right? But then we also start from the place where we get to know who we are, instead of, we've all kind of discovered that we've had to kind of go searching a lot to figure out even just the basics of what the human body potential has, right? So we want to be able to bring that out. Co-creative play shops, right? Nothing is ever, you're not going to come in and expect someone to tell you what to think. It's actually always going to be co-creative, where everybody that joins class is part of the creation experience. We want to get back to, you know, just seeing how, like, instead of astrology where it gets kind of confusing with 12 signs, maybe just 4 elements, and the basic understanding that we're all still connected and we're not, you know, one sign, but we're actually these 4 elements always living within ourselves, right? And then being able to face our shadow. I think people talk so much about that, but no one really makes it fun. No one makes it really like it's part of our, you know, life. It, you know, shadows sound so scary. I think a lot of spiritual group has made like facing your shadow a little too dramatic now. And so, you know, versus here we are talking about winter every year is the shadow work, right? We go through things when there's no distractions around for us to deal with, right? So we really do have to face our personal shadows and to reconnect ourselves, right? And that's the deeper understanding. And so in this game, we're all about learning to quest through the play shop. We're going to be developing also a currency system that allows us to kind of create a new system for us to kind of pay the teachers who are, you know, developing these play shops, but then not make it feel like it's expensive to learn things. I think, you know, we want to find a new way to be more creative about this. So think of it more like a Dave and Buster idea. What if we brought Dave and Buster into the world of education and we were able to find ways to trade information in that sense.
And how can all of us access our inner teacher? Because all of us right here, we're all teachers too. How can we find ways to support ourselves and within our communities too?
Exactly. And if there's something that we're interested in learning, you know, we want the idea like post it out there and see what kind of teachers might show up, because, you know, they're looking to share this and we're looking to learn this. So it's meant to be very community. And then the second part is now what we really face with this idea of the shadow riders that have been really having intention in affecting our ability to connect to the 4 elements. And so we kind of play with this idea of the 4 horsemen, where they're the shadow riders that really make us face the ideas of, you know, the death, war, conquest, and famine. And that's where the elements are missing. So what
element is famine, you guys? Throw it out there. What shadow element
Earth.
is that? Which one?
The earth.
Earth, yep. What about war?
Fire.
Fire. What about death?
Water.
Water. What about conquest?
Air.
Air. Yeah. So you can see, I mean, throw out there really quick or drop it in the chat. who or what companies or what organizations are embodying these shadow riders? I mean, let's lean into the shadow. Like, what do you guys feel? Who's showing up in these ways right now?
I was like, where do we start? Yeah.
Throw one
Put it out there. Everything. Do it.
Monsanto, famine. Yes, thank you. Messing up our soil and our crops, our seeds. Yep. Pfizer, pharma. What do you think Pfizer is, D? Which element? Which? Yep. Nestle. You got Nestle, right? With death, with water, messing up our what gives us life. We got, oh, thank you, Russia, China, US, conquest, Carl. Like, you got the war, right? The fire element. They're using fire to like create, lots of harm.
Yeah.
Government. Nice. What element is that? Government.
Earth.
All of them.
Conquest.
And so for social media, that's a really good one. Thank you. So in what we're doing here is we're gonna, our intention, and some of you guys already, I mean, look at Ross, you came to an event we did. Did you feel any of these shadow riders, and did we actually face the shadow riders, whether it was consciously or unconsciously? Did you notice that?
The Singing Bowls event?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember feeling facing the shadow riders during that event. But I bet we did.
What about you, D? Did you did you notice anything like? No. So I mean,
I think for me, I'll share really quick. Like, for me, a shadow rider, like, is this idea that when you are doing something that is peaceful or meditative or like aligning you, that I have to be in the studio that's completely quiet and like with the hardwood floor and like temperature at 78 degrees. No, we were outside in nature. There was a basketball game. I think there was a like football game, but I was still able to find my peace. And I think that's really important, because when we feel like the only way we can obtain peace is by going into these studios, it's not true. So that, I feel like that shadow of just like being aware that I can find peace wherever I am, wherever I decide to be, and wherever I fully show up and am present. And that's like a big deal for me. Sorry, I got a little emotional.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you.
Okay,
No,
sorry.
Thanks for saying that, Tizzle, because I feel like we right now are in part of what we're facing is this catering to so many sensitivities like around us in communities where it's like, oh, that's too loud, or oh, you're too, this, can you keep it down? And it's just like, so people can't be free. And so everyone's just self-censoring. We're all constantly just self-censoring all the time. And it's like, it's not serving anyone, And so I feel like you said, in that space that where we were at in the park, it was like people were doing whatever they want. And yet we were still able to hold this space and create this vibration that we're actually drawing people into the space who were on the outside, because they saw that there was this harmonious frequency happening.
So yeah, thanks for sharing that. And Mick, go ahead, please. You're gonna say.
No, I mean, I was going to say we definitely like that last bit where we had the meals and people were coming, even didn't participate in the sound bath, but were coming for meals and really healthy, wholesome food. I definitely think we were combating the shadow rider of famine in that moment. Yeah.
So what we're going to be doing more as we continue to grow and evolve, and this meta game continues to play out, is that we're going to be facing these shadow riders together in the world. And maybe sometimes it might be Monsanto, it might be bigger organizations, but we're going to need a little bit more strategy and collaboration. We're going to have to play the game a little bit wiser, right, and stronger, using our elements and actually finding mastery and self-mastery within what we want to do, and then collaborating with each other to actually face these shadow riders and maybe transmute them, because we don't want to kill them. Charlie, what do we want to do with them? What are we trying to do with the shadow riders?
We're trying to give them new information, right? New options. And that's all it is. We're not here to like destroy systems. You have to bring in a new system, right? So together, when we bring in the 4 elements, we are the new system that's alchemizing a whole new idea, concept that no one's thought of. So
continue meditating on this, and even in your life, start to think about when you see a shadow rider in the world and you start to identify them and you're like, wait, that one's totally creating famine, that one's totally creating conquest. Now understand that you're now a part of a community that wants to face those shadows in a meaningful way. And what can we do? Like some of you guys that came to that outdoor sound healing, we could do that kind of thing. We could do any mobilization. I'm going to be teaching play shops around civic engagement and how you can get grants and you can get money to face these shadows. So you're not just doing it from a place of lack, but you were doing it from a place of abundance. So we can do a lot together as long as we lean into it together in solidarity with the elements combine. All right, totally go for it.
And so this is kind of where the idea of the 4 elements and our abilities together, right? When we really come together and use our abilities, but then work together, we can solve any kind of problems and face any shadow riders. And so here we've had our own kind of experiences where we're trying to gather people. And so, you know, we're trying to make community events, social events, but really trying to bring purpose behind it. Whether we are trying to address the soil and growing plants that's, you know, trying to deal with shadow rider or famine, or sound bowl maybe is the idea of conquest, where so much distraction is confusing. Maybe just sitting out and just listening to sound bowls is reducing how we're getting, you know, our mind being conquest by distracting thoughts. So really in this phase, we're really trying to build our development of mixing elements. And so this is where we say, go join another guild. You know, if you are in your own chart of fire and earth, and you join both guilds, learn how to mix your earth and fire together. You know, being part of a community where you're like, hey, I didn't know I could do that with my fire element. Can you teach me that? You know, that's the way that we're all going to get better at what we do. And really, the idea is really going to make up our own quest. What if you're like, hey, I need help in my town to do this? And maybe it's like the idea of meetup, but there's an intention behind it where you're coming in, you know, you're already planning to like make a difference and you're bringing your abilities into the space, rather than sometimes we kind of get lost saying, what can I help? And no one knows what to do, right? But if you're coming in, I'm an earth sign. What can an earth sign do? I'm sure we can come up with a list of things that, you know, we can count on. And so this last piece is really trying to bring this idea of building parties together, learning to mix with your abilities with friends. So we're going to have more social events. We want more people to have events where maybe there's you know, there's a farm that needs more help to harvest food. So maybe we can do an event there so we can all teach the kids where food comes from, but also harvest and help farmers and really show that, you know, we're not going to lose to the shadow rider of famine because we haven't forgotten how farmers grow food. Right? You know, that's, you know, the idea of grocery stores is how the shadow riders win, because if they shut down the grocery stores, where are we getting our food? Because, you know, not all of us have farmers market, you know, so that's a conversation of how do we stay, you know, in understanding like how reality works.
And also important here too is that we use the word quest really intentionally, because I don't know if you guys maybe drop in a chat or pop on, like, has anybody here played video games or played video games before, you know? And a lot of times video games are so popular in the world right now, but they're escapist, right? Like over and over again, they're practices of escaping from the reality that exists right now. But what if we played the game that's already we're a part of? Like, what if we quest within the reality we're in right now? Like, what if that's the quest? I mean, we love cosplaying and we love dressing up and we love doing that, but what if we dressed up with purpose and intention and we played ourselves as a character in the world? Like, what if? So we want to lean into that more, and we also want to give young people, not just like kids, but like Tizzle and Mick and sharing, and even me, I work with a lot of young adults. They're lost right now. But if we go, hey, you can wear a costume and make a difference in the world, and that can be sustainable for you, like, whoa, that we could completely change reality, not just for ourselves, but for the future. So I want us to also, all of us, think about questing. Like, how can we make our own quest and become a part of our own quest, and then also collaborate with each other on quests? So if you want to reach out to me and be like, Rishi, Indy, I want to do this in my community, and I have this quest idea, I'm going to be fully supportive of that, right? And I hope we all can build a community around that. All right, go for it, Charlie.
Yes. And phase 3, we are working on it, but this is where we're really now looking to find other people who are interested in being the leaders of tomorrow. Because the idea is we're really going to develop new ways of solving problems in, you know, all of the areas of the earth element, the fire, water, and air. And that's kind of the power that we're trying to do, is really with education, what are we going to do with it? Not just here's education, I hope you can, you're okay with your life, but rather, can we have more relationship where we have partners that we work with for the rest of our lives because we trust in their abilities. I find today world where you go from one job to the other, it's really hard to have people that you can trust, that we can work with. And so hopefully we have an opportunity to really build community that really matters to us, and being heart-centered. Yes.
Yes. Next, Charlie.
And so
wait,
next,
wait, go before that. Go one before that. And we want to keep this in mind too, because some of you guys right here that are in this chat, we would love to have you come on, and we have a podcast that Charlie and Tizzle facilitate. And so I encourage you guys to lean in if you want to come on to those and talk about projects you're working on or things you care about. We want to bring you guys onto those things because we want to highlight our community as well. And you never know when you make a signal, what that also means. But we also want you guys to log into our Cosmic portal. So if you go to cosmiclabyrinth.world, we're creating a membership portal. Right now, we're going to build it from there, but our bigger intention is to create a whole new software where we can actually use our elemental coins in a marketplace, and you'll see what that is, because you can also participate in making stuff in the marketplace and selling it as well. So we want to create an entrepreneurial enterprise that's around the shadow questing, right? So just so you have an idea of what's coming up.
Yeah, so please sign up on our website. We're kind of testing everything out there. So you're basically the Omega class. When you log in, we're going to start gathering information, whether it's your birthday to also your coins that you're collecting, and even just awards that we're playing out as we kind of do different events. And so here's the job form. We're leaving the job form in the chat as well.
So yeah, please take some. It's really quick, easy thing. You'll notice at the beginning of the job form, there's a birthday and a natal chart thing. Well, that's because we really care about not just sharing, not just like for you to access your natal chart and understand it, but also for all of us to kind of start leaning in to how we can support each other and strengthen each other in our weaknesses and our strengths, right? So that's going to be a big part of and that's also, by the way, as we've done Cosmic Labyrinth, it's been a huge part of what we've done is knowing each other. Like Charlie and Mick and Tizzle and Sarissa and all of us, we all know our astrologies, and it helps us, our natal charts, it helps us actually understand each other and not take things personally, or not, understand, oh, this is where we're coming from. This is why this stuff is happening. So for organizational development, it's really helpful.
So yeah, we'll plan to do this once a month to kind of continue developing the story. So if you can join us once a month, we'll continue. Maybe next time we'll talk about the different other guilds too, but we're going to continue the conversation and then start adding more puzzles of what are these pillars that we're trying to face, and these shadows and our personal shadows.
Actually, and that, let me hand it off. Mick, did you, I think you had something, right, to share with things like actionable items. Do you have anything?
Specific actionable items. I mean, think about ways you can be of service with your elements, so depending on where some of those strengths kind of naturally come to you, it's going to vary. But for me, I tend to think of actionable items that are either earth or water. So there are a number of organizations around the city where you can go and volunteer at gardens. I sometimes go and volunteer at the Arboretum, the LA Arboretum, at the place called the Crescent Farm, where they're working on a water-wise garden. It's an awesome place to go and volunteer. There's a number of test plot sites around the city where they're actually planting native plants, and you can contact the Terremoto is the architectural group that's working on them, and you can contact them and volunteer with them. And yeah, I'll go and see if there are like other organizations around you. Like 826 is another amazing organization where if you're into more of the air elements, air and water, for contributing to helping children learn how to write and express themselves and be playful with that. Yeah, so those are all LA based suggestions, but yeah.
Maybe there's like play tasking, right? Is like maybe finding out in your community, where are the shadow riders showing up in your community? And maybe it's around water, maybe it's around food, maybe it's around healthcare, right? Go and find out where that is. And next month when we meet again, bring that to the table, and we can heartstorm around how we can, you know, collectively do something about that. So yeah, so just know that we got a cosmic community here, a cosmic family, and we're gonna keep growing. So thank you. Does anybody have anything else to share? Tizzle, Sarissa, anybody
What
else?
about, like, I'm curious about maybe even creating like a WhatsApp group for us to kind of stay connected and in like real time of things happening with us here, and then you know, adding people as they come in.
You got
Just throwing it out there.
WhatsApp or Telegram? What
Or
is
Telegram, either one.
What's everybody get?
I'm good with trying Telegram. I've been mostly, I haven't really been using Telegram. WhatsApp is more, but you know, I think we may want to not be.
There's a few sources, and I'm with it. I think that's a great idea. To stay connected.
Yeah, Raja, thank you. Yay, Raja's here.
Hi, guys.
And then anybody else? You guys all feel complete? Everybody feels good?
Woo. Woohoo.
Yeah.
So good to
everyone.
connect with y'all. Thank you for just showing up and being here. It's just like a really beautiful moment, you know,
It is
like
beautiful.
alpha omega energy, and it's super powerful. And I'm so grateful that all of you chose to show up. Like, it was a deliberate, conscious choice, and what you are infusing into this space, and you being here for this first like gathering of elemental cosmic minds is super great, and super excited for how we're going to continue to build, and how we'll connect in real time, and all the ideas and innovations. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the shadow riders don't know what's coming. We're gonna be hugging them and kissing them and giving them water, infused water.
Tickling them and
Tickling them.
and major gratitude. I'm also grateful for you guys.
Thank you, Raja. Thank you, guys. Have a beautiful Sunday. Enjoy yourselves. Go 49ers.
Did you just say go 49ers?
Oh, dang.
We're balanced. We're balanced here.
Carl, thank you. Thanks for your incredible brilliance. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, Ross. Thank you to the guinea pig for being a guinea pig for us, you know.
Larry.
Yay.
Thank you, Lauren. Appreciate you so much. Deanna, Mick, Charlie.
Thank you.
Guys, be blessed, be well. May the force be with you.
You too.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Bye, everyone.
Love and gratitude. Ciao.
I'll stay here with you, Charlie.
Yeah. All right, let me turn off the